Hi, welcome to this episode of The Daily. My name is Brendan Malone. Well, a couple of weeks ago, there was a sentencing in another high-profile college athlete rape case in America. This time, a group of athletes took an unconscious woman back to someone's room, and then they proceeded to rape and sexually assault her, and they filmed the whole thing and posted videos and photos around on the internet and to friends of this particular incident. It's really horrific and barbaric stuff. Now, as I was reading the article about the sentencing and they recounted some of the case details, there was one particular sentence about the case of the facts that just jumped out at me off the page. And it was what happened when they got back to that dorm room with that unconscious woman. The first thing that happens is the ringleader goes and puts on hardcore pornography and starts watching pornography as this thing is unfolding in the background, and he encourages the others to sexually assault this unconscious woman. When I read that sentence, it reminded me once again of the serious impact that hardcore, particularly online internet pornography, is having in our culture, and the fact that we seem so unwilling to actually want to have the discussion about the impact of this stuff. There is now a large and growing body of evidence which shows that pornography is shaping young male sexual attitudes and actions towards females. It's happening at all sorts of levels, from young men who are engaging in first-time sexual encounters where they are hitting women because they thought that that's what you're supposed to do after seeing it in pornography so consistently. Another story I read was about a young man who, with his bride actually on their wedding night, and he spat at her during their sexual intercourse because he had been exposed to a lot of pornography and he thought that's what you were supposed to do and that this was all part of the ritual. To these cases like this one involving this guy by the name of Vandenberg, who was the ringleader, who goes into his dorm room with an unconscious woman, and the first thing he does is puts on pornography to actually help fuel a very serious sexual assault and rape. Now, the thing is, we need to have this discussion, and it's no good, as I've had conversations with other people who sort of trying to downplay the impact of pornography, and they say things like, well, look, pornographic images have always been with us. Sure. But there is a huge difference between a piece of Greco-Roman graffiti on the side of the Colosseum or a piece of Greco-Roman, sexualized graffiti on a plate that depicts something sexualized as compared to live, hardcore, actual sex acts between real human persons that are on demand and you can watch for hours on end in front of you in hardcore, full graphic visuals. These are not the same things at all. They are two very different types of things, and their impacts are very, very different as well. Even the mere fact that you can access this stuff so anonymously and so easily and so regularly is hugely different to what those early pornographic depictions actually were and the effect that they had on wider society. We already know that images are extremely powerful. We have an entire industry, an entire science, the science and industry of marketing, that is dedicated to shaping people's behaviours and actions. We know that with just one 30-second advert, that using nothing more than images, if we put them together in the right way and use them emotively enough, we can shape your very behaviour. We can cause you to go out and buy a product or vote a certain way. That is the power of images. These aren't just a tool, like, say, other tools that can be used for good or for evil. Pornography and pornographic images are a fuel. They are fueling people's attitudes. They are fueling people's behaviours. And until we start having that conversation about the way in which male sexuality in particular, but I think human sexuality in general, has veered off the track because we haven't encouraged men to live out a virtuous self-giving sexuality where they take the gift of their sexual strength and they direct it outwards in acts of self-giving instead of inwards engaged in acts of self-gratification, we're just not really going to see a lot of change, and certainly not change that's going to be lasting and widespread. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow on The Daily.